In today's video, we go to the quiet coastal town of Morecambe in Lancashire, where in the winter of 1995, a brutal double murder shattered the community. Two respected men, a garage owner and his colleague, were slain in a calculated act of violence. This is Curios&Spiritual. We take a look at this harrowing tale and a brutal killer who will do anything to avoid being caught. We look at the case, the police investigation, and the trial. In the early hours of January 24th, 1995, the streets of Morecambe are silent, blanketed by a chill of winter. Inside her home, Geraldine Morecambe is growing increasingly anxious. Her husband, Tony Morecambe, hasn't returned home from his garage, TM Motors. This is unlike him. After phoning the garage multiple times, with the clock heading towards midnight hours, her worry turns to panic. Unable to shake her concern, Geraldine contacts the police. Officers arrive at the garage around 1:30 AM, and what they discover is horrifying. Tony Morecambe, 49 years old, lies lifeless on the garage floor. His head has been brutally bludgeoned with a heavy wrench. The scene is chaotic. The place, it is trashed with tools scattered, blood splatters, a testament to a fierce struggle. Tony had fought for his life. The investigation swiftly turns to Paul Sandham, a 29-year-old mechanic and close friend of Tony's. Paul is also missing, and his wife Sue has also reported his absence. Could a dispute between friends have escalated to murder? That theory, though, is quickly dispelled when Paul's body is discovered in a field off Powderhouse Lane, about a mile from the garage. He'd been stabbed over 40 times, a savage attack on a man who had recently overcome cancer. Detectives now face a grim reality, a double homicide. The motive? It appears to be robbery. Tony's gold chain is missing, and so is a white MG Metro from the garage, including the V5 paperwork documentation to the Metro. Detective Superintendent Graham Gooch leads the murder investigation. Forensic evidence suggests the killer couldn't overpower both men simultaneously. It's believed he lured Paul away under the guise of a test drive, murdered him, and then returned to the garage to kill Tony. The missing MG Metro becomes a crucial lead. A check with DVLA Swansea through the vehicle history database revealed nothing, no owner change. But a HPI check had been carried out, and it reveals that a dealer in Kent, South East London, had recently run a HPI check on the car. The man who sold it to the car dealer provided false details, but the trail is now becoming warmer. Then will come the breakthrough police needed from the television programme Crime Watch UK. A viewer recognised a man featured in a short segment about Surrey Jewellers robbery as Terry Clifton. Detective Richard Cullen in Kent connects Clifton to the Morecambe murders. Clifton, 24, has ties to both London and Morecambe. Having attended Morecambe High School, Terry Clifton's description, based on a video image and Kent police officers' investigation, matched the description of a man who sold the MG Metro. The lead was strengthened when a woman who knew Terry Clifton walked into Morecambe police station and said he'd been in the area at the time of the murders. On February 28, 1995, detectives locate Terry Clifton at a 7th floor flat in Kent. As they approach, Clifton emerges brandishing a sawn-off shotgun. In a daring escape, he lowers himself over the balcony, descending the building by leaping from balcony to balcony, a feat that earns him the moniker the Spider-Man killer in the press. Despite the escape, the investigation continued. Forensic analysis uncovers a smear of blood inside Tony's trouser pocket. DNA confirms it's Clifton's. The evidence is mounting. With officers now staking out every address linked with Terry Clifton and searching car records. With the search for evidence continuing, earlier camera footage of Clifton driving through London emerged, which clearly showed his hand was bandaged. On March the 6th, Clifton was traced to a property in Kent and finally apprehended without incident. The local community breathes a sigh of relief that the killer has finally been caught. Before his trial at Preston Crown Court in January 1997, Terry Clifton continued to cause the scene, holding his own solicitor hostage for 21 hours at court before police stormed the cell. Terry Clifton sacked his barristers and said he intended to defend himself. The legal proceedings are anything but straightforward. Clifton refuses to attend his own trial, opting to represent himself but remain in his cell, having pleaded not guilty at an earlier hearing. The judge agreed the trial could go ahead, and the court proceeds in his absence. The jury deliberates for just 30 minutes before finding Terry Clifton guilty of both murders. When the judge orders him to the courtroom for sentencing, it takes 9 officers to carry the struggling Clifton into the dock, horizontal, to hear his fate. The trial judge, Mr. Justice McKinnon, sentenced Terry Clifton, 26 years old, to life imprisonment for each murder, and said, "It's clear to me that you're an extremely dangerous man. It'll be a very long time before you're released, if that day ever comes." Tony's widow Geraldine witnesses the sentencing. Paul's widow Sue has relocated to Scarborough, unable to endure the painful memories. The 2 murders left an indelible mark on Morecambe, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the darkness that can lurk in the most unexpected places. The sentence, I can find no minimum term, even in the public court records, and boy have I looked. If Clifton's minimum term were, for instance, 25 years, he would have become eligible for parole for consideration around 2022. However, being eligible does not guarantee release. The parole board must assess whether the individual poses a continued risk to the public. As of now, there is no public information indicating that Terry Clifton has been released. The big question in this case is why. Robbery seems to be the motive. Police officers discovered Clifton had done business with TM Motors on New Year's Eve in 1994, exchanging a BMW for a Honda Prelude. They believe Terry Clifton either thought he'd been ripped off, or that he saw the amount of cash Tony Moracco carried. Terry Clifton showed us how far someone will go, driven by greed, resentment, or simply the cold logic of violence. But more than that, his actions reveal something even darker: how one person's warped sense of entitlement can send shockwaves through countless lives. And yet in the aftermath of the brutality, there was also strength, in the persistence of the police detectives, in the courage of the families, in the refusal to let 2 good men be forgotten. I often get asked how someone could do something so monstrous, but I think perhaps a better question is how we respond when monsters show up. For in the way we pursue justice, protect the memory, and stand beside the people who have been broken, that's where humanity shows its face again.